Okay, so now it's time for a bit of a geeky feature. In two-wheel drive, over the last few years, we've seen a lot of development work in the cars. There was a classic two-wheel drive layout, which has now started to be really tweaked and played with. And in the two-wheel drive A final, we saw one car using a mid-motor configuration, making the A final here at the 2011 European Championships. Let's go and talk to some of the drivers about the difference between the mid-motor and rear-motor style of cars.
Driving-wise, they're totally different. Setup-wise, totally different. It's a completely different car. It's a total change.
The main difference is the mid-motors will carry more corner speed.
They just tend to jump a bit flatter, and because you haven't got the motor hanging out the back, they're a bit flatter front to back, and it's easy to adjust the pitch.
The rear motors, they just want to try and wheelie too much, and the mid-motors can just carry so much corner speed when the grip's there. And we don't have the issue of the back trying to step out. You can just go in, get on the gas and just keep it going all the way around the turn.
Let's have a look inside your car here. So you can see you've got the motor sitting just in front of the rear axle, and then the battery's down the centre of the car. The battery's down the centre of the car generally on the rear motor cars as well, but obviously the motor in a different position. Can you explain how it affects the handling between the two cars as a rear motor or mid-motor car?
Generally, the mid-motors carry a lot more corner speed, and is more of a flowing driving style, whereas with a rear motor car it tends to be you get into the corner, brake, pivot, drive out, more of a point and squirt driving style. Obviously it depends on each driver and their own style.
Neil Cragg used a mid-motor conversion when he won the UK National Series earlier this year, but he's opted for a rear motor car here in France. He puts the choice down to the track surface.
Basically on air tracks now you can't touch a mid-motor car. The cornering speed is immense. It doesn't feel any faster going around the track, but it's just easy to drive, and it's just you can just push it harder and it's just faster,
Oh yeah, when there's grip, there's no question.
All the rear motor cars are designed for clay, and that's why they're so good. I mean, you can get a mid-motor around pretty good on clay, but nothing compared to the rear motor cars.
When it's a slippy track like we had here, the trouble with the mid-motor is we sometimes just struggle to get the car out of the turn. It will just want to carry on rotating, whereas the rear motors can get on the throttle and the car lets go of the turn.
Another top driver who likes to test different motor positions in his car is Austrian driver Hupo Honig. Can you tell us about when you choose to run the two different options?
Yes, that's pretty easy. On dirt, normally rear motor, and on Astro or carpet, mid motor. On dirt, you just need more rear traction, so you run a rear motor car, and on AstroTurf, on high bite tracks, you need the corner speed and the steering, which you have with the mid-motor configuration.
The Django car you can run in either the mid-motor configuration or the rear motor configuration.
Yes, for sure. I mean, you can see all the other teams have maybe two completely different cars, and we can switch from rear to mid-motor in, I would say, less than 5 minutes.
Now, we've seen with some manufacturers, they make a car where you can run it either mid-motor or rear motor. Some other companies do conversion kits for rear motor cars, so into mid-motor cars, but Schumacher's solely focused on mid-motor at the moment.
They considered it, they looked at doing it both ways, but they felt to optimise the car for mid-motor it's best to just go with one format. It was made for the UK market, or mainly directed at them. It's been very successful over there, so we're sticking with it. It works. We're doing a lot more testing on clay tracks now. We've got a new dirt spec conversion which helps a lot, and we're just trying to develop setups and get into it.
So a few contrasting views we've seen there, lots of different opinions. Who knows what all these guys behind me in the pits are going to be working on in their two-wheel drive cars, maybe next year's European Championships. Stay tuned to EFRA.ws.